CONCACAF World Cup qualifying is coming to an end, and with that said, the United States is close to releasing their final roster. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to another roster prediction video. And I know, I probably should have released this video a week or two ago, but better be late than to just never do it. Unless the roster is out. Then by the time the roster is out, this video is 100% irrelevant, and the roster should be out next week, sometime around March 15th, maybe a day before or a day after. Now remember, for every roster prediction video, we do have to make several assumptions, and some of them will be right, some of them will be wrong. Also, knowing Gregg Berhalter at this point, he will likely bring a 26-man roster. So we're going to go based off that. Sure, he might bring 25, or maybe 27, but 26 seems like the more likely one, and that's what we're going to base ourselves off of. There are also many players that are going through injuries that are close to returning. Some are training already, so I will also have to make assumptions based off that of what I think will happen, if they're going to be available or not. I will also in this video be trying to predict Gregg Berhalter's roster, and I'll be giving you mine. That's not to say I know more than Greg. That is just because I want to give my opinion. That's literally the only reason. All right, before we start, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. I'm looking forward to the World Cup qualifying matches, even though I'm cautiously optimistic and extremely anxious and nervous. All right, let's play the intro and let's start the episode. All right, so let's start with the goalkeepers. And I believe Gregg Berhalter will bring 3 goalkeepers. And usually in the roster prediction videos, the goalkeepers are easy to predict, and usually we get it right. But it's not quite easy for this camp. So Turner and Steffen, usually it's just Turner, Steffen, and the next in-form healthy goalkeeper. But Matt Turner has a mysterious injury on his foot. Apparently, it was from the hypothermia game against Honduras. He has not played for the Revs this season yet at the time of this recording. Now, Zach Steffen has been absent from Manchester City since February 12th due to an injury that we also don't know what it is. So our top 2 goalkeepers are likely out. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to have to assume Matt Turner and Zach Steffen won't be available. And if they are available, they're probably not going to be in form. So who will Gregg Berhalter bring? So I'm going to give this right away. I think Greg will bring Ethan Horvath, now that he seems to have locked in the starting job for Nottingham Forest and played some very good games the past 4 games that he's played. Sean Johnson from New York City FC. He has been informed last season and has been a reliable goalkeeper for Greg and has experience. And I actually think that Greg will bring Brad Guzan. No, I seriously think that is a possibility. I know Gaga Slonina is probably there, but I just have a feeling. Now, in regards to me, I would bring Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson, and Gaga Slonina. Now, I can also see Gregg Berhalter bring 4 goalkeepers. If Matt Turner or Zach Steffen are half fit, they could play, but they're not in form. It might not happen, but I could see that happening as well. Last camp, he did bring 4 goalkeepers, and Zach Steffen ended up never showing up. So those were the goalkeepers. Moving forward in the pitch, or the field, let's go to the center backs. Okay, the center backs are a bit easier to predict for this camp than the goalkeepers. So let's start with Gregg's. So I believe Greg will bring Walker Zimmerman, Miles Robinson, Aaron Long, which I know it's a little bit crazy because he's going to have roughly 4 MLS games under his belt. He did score a goal, and Greg has been bringing him into camp for moral support, I guess. So I do think it's going to be one of the 5 center backs that he's bringing. Just to make clear, I think Greg will bring 5 center backs. Along with Long, I believe he's going to bring Chris Richards, that has been training for 2 weeks, so he should be match fit and should play for Hoffenheim very soon, and Mark McKenzie. So just to recap, Gregg Berhalter will likely bring Walker Zimmerman, Miles Robinson, Aaron Long, Chris Richards, and Mark McKenzie. Now, as for me, I would personally bring Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman, John Brooks, Chris Richards, and Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been absolutely fantastic in the Scottish Premiership, likely going to be a center back in the Premier League next season. Sorry about that. I got my tongue mixed up there. Cameron Carter-Vickers not having at least 1 opportunity for the U.S. men's national team is insane. I would actually bring him in this camp. He would be one of my 5 center backs. So just to recap, my 5 center backs are Walker Zimmerman, Miles Robinson, John Anthony Brooks, Chris Richards, and Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic in Scotland. So we're not going to leave the defense yet. It's time to talk about the fullback. So before we do that, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we already had made in the past, but I'd like to say it again. The Tactical Manager TV merch store is now open. The link is on the description. It's just tacticalmanagertv.com. And this is actually one of the t-shirts. the Berhalter ball t-shirt. There's also L3s finished and many more. Now let's talk about the fullbacks. So the 4 fullbacks that I believe Gregg Berhalter will bring, just to make it clear, I believe he will bring 4, are Serginho Dest, DeAndre Yedlin, that now plays for Inter Miami with Break Shea, the GOAT, Anthony Robinson from Fulham, and Reggie Cannon from Boavista. Greg has also said in the past that Yedlin, Cannon, and Dest can play left back. We definitely know that Dest can, and Kellyn Acosta can as well. So I do think he's going to bring 3 right backs and 1 left back. The last camp, he actually brought 4 right backs and 1 left back, which was insanity to me. But yeah, I think he's going to bring Dest, Yedlin, Anthony Robinson, and Reggie Cannon. Now, I would also bring 4 fullbacks. Now, who are the 4 fullbacks that I would bring? Let's talk about it. So my 4 fullbacks would be Serginho Dest, Joe Scally, Anthony Robinson, and DeAndre Yedlin. So essentially, I would have the same, but I would bring Joe Scally instead of Reggie Cannon. That in the club level, honestly, Reggie Cannon kind of became a center back. He's been playing as a center back for Boavista, so there's that. Now, Joe Scally and Dest are perfectly capable of playing left back. Joe Scally played many matches as a left back in Bundesliga, including when he faced Bayern Munich. We also know Serginho Dest is perfectly capable of playing the left back position. So technically, we would have 3. I would have Dest as my starting right back, Scally as the backup right back and left back, and Anthony Robinson as the backup left back. And then DeAndre Yedlin there for experience and to be one of the options as well in case Scally has to play left back. He's the backup of Serginho Dest. But look, let's just be honest here. Greg will not bring Joe Scally. He doesn't rate Joe Scally. We clearly saw this in the last camp, and even the camp that Scally was there were reports that he didn't really like what he saw, and he proved that by not calling up Scally, and hasn't even communicated with Scally for months. So that ain't happening, right? What could happen is he could bring those 4 that I mentioned, and maybe, just maybe, he could add Brooks, Lennon. Yes, he did that in the last camp, so I wouldn't put it past him. Now, nothing against Brooks Lennon. I just think we have better right back options than him for the men's national team. That's all I have to say. Let's move on with the video. Tired of having big tech collecting all your data and spy on you? Well, our sponsor might have the solution to that. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering fast connectivity, most servers, and next generation encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all your computer and devices no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either. And plans start at under $4 per month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal right now by going to nordvpn.com/Bleav. That is Bleav as in BLEAV. Use the code for 70% off on your NordVPN plan, plus an additional free month. It's also risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. So again, thank you NordVPN for sponsoring the channel. Now we're off to the midfield, and the midfield is where it can get very tricky. So I personally think Gregg Berhalter is going to bring 7 midfielders. And the first thing we have to mention right away is, unfortunately, our best midfielder, Weston McKennie, is out. Now, I do also want to point out that Giovanni Reyna is doubtful, questionable or doubtful to be in camp, even though he is apparently going to be available to play for Dortmund over the weekend, the time of this recording, and he's already training with Dortmund. Now, Gianluca Busio also apparently tweaked his hamstring. It does seem minor. He probably will be available, but it's something I do have to say because if the injury aggravates, Busio won't be in the roster. The last roster, he was also in it, but he was taken out due to COVID. So, who will Gregg Berhalter bring? The first 2 names right away that I can say, or actually 3 names, are Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, and Kellyn Acosta. But who else? So, Luca De La Torre is pretty much a lock as long as he's healthy. At the match against Honduras, he most certainly has earned an extra spot in the roster and probably will get heavy minutes this camp. The other one I think Gregg Berhalter will still bring, and he's not going to let him go anytime soon, or maybe he will, but not in this camp, is Sebastian Lletget. With Weston out, there's an extra spot in the midfield, and Lletget will likely be in this roster. I also believe Christian Roldan will be in it, and Gianluca Busio as long as he's healthy. So just to recap, the 7 players I believe Gregg Berhalter will bring, whether you like it or not, this is not my opinion. This is who I think Greg will bring. So don't hate on me for bringing Roldan or Lletget. I wouldn't bring them. I'm about to tell you which ones I would bring. So I think Greg will bring Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, Sebastian Lletget, Luca De La Torre, Kellyn Acosta, Christian Roldan, and Gianluca Busio. Okay, now that you probably got mad at Greg's boys, now you are allowed to get pissed off at me because I'm about to tell you the 7 midfielders I would bring. So here are the 7 midfielders I would bring. Tyler Adams, Gianluca Busio, also with the same assumption from Gregg's section, assuming he is healthy. Jordi Mihailovic to solve the creativity issue. He has been very good for Montreal early this season, as good as he was last season as well. Definitely deserve a chance, and I think he adds a lot more value than Christian Roldan and Sebastian Lletget. I would also bring Cal Acosta as our backup 6, and I'm going to make a big assumption here. I would bring Giovanni Reyna. Look, making the World Cup is crucial, and Giovanni Reyna able to play 15 minutes, to me, adds more value than bringing in Christian Roldan or Lletget. So if he's already trained with Dortmund and will be available the weekend, that means he should be able to play 10, 15 minutes. I would bring him into camp. Even if he only plays the last game or only plays 15 minutes of the home game, I would bring Reyna instead of bringing Lletget and Roldan, as long as he's fit to play a couple minutes. Oh, one thing to say too. I know Weston's not available, but I would at least invite him in camp to be with the team. That's just my opinion. And I think Gregg might actually do it. I mean, Weston is in the United States right now. Now we're going to move on to the wingers. And I think Gregg Berhalter will actually bring 5 wingers. So here are the 5 wingers that I think Gregg's going to bring. Christian Pulisic, that has been fantastic lately for Chelsea, and we're going to need him in form. Brendan Aronson, that has been very good for RB Salzburg as well. Timothy Weah, that hasn't been playing for Lille very much. That worries me a little bit, but Weah will be in form and will show up for the US men's national team. I also think Gregg Berhalter will bring Jordan Morris and Paul Arriola, one of his favorite players. Yeah, also a reminder that Jordan Morris, if needed, can also play as a striker or even the center forward if needed. And Brendan Aronson can also play as an 8 if needed. All right, so who would be the wingers that I would bring? And one thing I want to say right away, I would bring 4 wingers and 3 center forwards, while I think Gregg will bring 5 wingers, and 2 center forwards. So I'm going to have 4 wingers for myself right now. Now, for me, I would bring Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, and I know I might get some hate for not bringing Conrad over Morris, but apparently Conrad de la Fuente has been having professionalism issues at Olympique Marseille and hasn't been playing much at all. I cover him every week. You guys that follow the channel know that as well. As I do think Conrad is far more talented than Jordan Morris, I can't place him ahead of Morris. He's not going to be playing. Discipline issues are a big problem as well. And I know some of you might say, what about Matthew Hoppe? Well, Matthew Hoppe hasn't been playing for Mallorca also. And if I talk about Nicolas Gioacchini, hasn't been doing much at Ligue 1 as well. So yes, I would bring Jordan Morris. I think if we do bunker on an away game, Jordan Morris could be very useful in transition. I truly believe that, right? I've been very critical of him, but in transition, he can be a very dangerous player. So yeah, I would bring him for that reason. Maybe against Mexico, put him in the second half. We try to bunker, get a draw, or if we're winning a game and we want to counter the team, put in Jordan Morris. But that's not what Gregg will do. I don't think Jordan Morris is a good player to have if you're trying to find a low block. He's not very good against low blocks. Now let's go to the center forwards. And I believe Gregg Berhalter is going to bring 2 center forwards. The 2 center forwards I believe he's going to bring are Ricardo Pepi and Gyasi Zardes. Now, Zardes is one of his favorites. I highly doubt he's going to leave Gyasi Zardes out. But Ricardo Pepi is where I have some doubt here. I think he's going to stick to Pepi, but Gregg Berhalter was in England watching Josh Sargent's game against Liverpool, and Sargent didn't do bad, even got an assist. So I could see him replacing Ricardo Pepi with Sargent or maybe Pifok. Now, Pifok doesn't seem like someone he doesn't stretch the back line as he says. I also think Pifok does struggle with English that I've heard. So the Pepi is the one that I'm questioning here. We might see Sargent over Pepi. I think Zardes is a lock, even though he's benched in MLS. I don't see Zardes being out of this one. So I'm going to say Pepi and Zardes, but this one I am not very sure, and I could very much get it wrong. I could totally see Josh Sargent here. Now, my center forwards are pretty straightforward. I would bring Ricardo Pepi despite his recent struggles. It doesn't mean he would be a starter because he has been struggling and out of form, and we need to play the hot hand right now. But I would bring Pifok, even though I'm not a big fan. The guy has been scoring. We need guys that can score goals. Time to bring in Pifok. Plus, if you're going to just whip in crosses, he's pretty good at headers. He can tap the ball in as well. Pifok is a great option to have for Berhalter ball. Yeah, Berhalter ball. So I would bring Pepi, Pifok, and I would bring Josh Sargent. As I told you guys, I would bring 4 wingers. Sargent can play as the right winger. He can play as the center forward. And if you play him the right wing, he can do all the work rate. Oh, what was that? All the work rate and the heavy lifting that Paul Arriola does, except for he's a better player. He's playing the Premier League on a struggling Norwich side, but he's been doing fine. 2 assists against Liverpool, and he's been playing fine for Norwich lately. I would bring in Josh Sargent. Alright everyone, that does it for this roster prediction video. I'm looking forward to this camp. We'll obviously be doing the live watch-alongs. I'm going to be attending the Orlando game and doing a vlog. I know you guys all love the Charlotte FC LA Galaxy vlog, so I'll be doing one for the United States as well. I won't have press passes because US Soccer would never give that to me, but I will be there with the fans. We'll be in the tailgate. We can all meet up and hang out if you're going to be in Orlando. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I want to thank you everyone that became a member of Tactical Manager TV. Hit the like button before you go. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget, I forgot one thing. Comment down below your roster, not Gregg's. Don't even try to predict Gregg's. I don't even know why I did that. It's nonsense. Comment down below who you would bring for the US men's national team camp this March. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.